Okay, so this is round two of the Twitter chess tournament. That's being very kindly organised by a couple of guys, including Matt Fletcher. And yeah, so I'm expecting this game to be quite tough. As you can see, I'm playing someone rated 2000 on Lichess for standard. I haven't had many games on it, which is why my rating's quite low. But we will see how we get on. But we will see playing a guy from But we will Kenya, see. And that's a guy good thing about this tournament. But we will play against people. Playing a guy good thing about this tournament. But otherwise, play people. Playing a guy good thing about this tournament. But otherwise, play a game. I started playing the game about this tournament lately. Otherwise, play a game. I started playing the game about this tournament lately. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament lately. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament lately. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. Otherwise, I started playing the game about this tournament. It's got a bit of fire over it. 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 So it's got a bit of fire over it. Chess pit. So it's got a bit of fire over it. Chess pit. So it's got a bit of fire over it. Chess pit. So it's got a bit of fire over it. Chess pit. So it's got a bit of fire over it. Chess pit. So it's got available. 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 Soon find out. 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 I'm pretty sure we'll 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 find out. I think that this line is pretty solid for black as well. It's not a whole lot going on here. The main problem I think he's going to have is this with this bishop. Either that bishop gets blocked in, or he gets an IQP. So one of those two things should really happen here. Be surprised. Bishop on c8 doesn't look so happy. Bishop I've got on g2 is a bit happier. Okay, let's see what. Yeah, let's just get rid of these pawns. Try and give him an isolated queen's pawn. I think that might be the best way of doing this. Now, do we take that or do we play knight e4? Because now he's blocked in this bishop. I don't know. What do we do? Don't know. Not sure what the best move is here. Can I try and put pressure on him with knight e4 and then load up on g5, or is it better to just try and go after this pawn? Alright, let's try and load up on the centre here. Really not sure this is the best way to play it. Because now I have some problems activating my dark squared bishop. Maybe I can... Oh, this is ugly already, actually. Do I need to play e3? Problem I've got is that my dark square bishop doesn't really have a square. And his knight is now... I really need to get e4 in some way. I'm lacking a bit of mobility. I think I've misplayed this. This doesn't look so fun anymore. I suppose I can go a3 and then queen c2. F5. Is f5 such a big deal? Is f5 such a big deal? Probably. Let's try a3. Let's try a3. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. Main issue is that I've blocked in my bishop a bit here. This isn't so good anymore. I think that maybe I needed to just hoover off that knight and try and gang up on the pawn. That might have been the best way of doing things. Okay. Well, that means I might be able to play knight d2 now. And then e4, knight c4. Okay. Well, that means I might be able to play knight d2 now. And then e4, knight c4. Yeah, his queen's now a bit of a target. I think this looks like a sensible way of playing. Get e4 and knight c4. Try and kick all his pieces out of the centre. Looks like a sensible way of playing. Get e4 and knight c4. Try and kick all his pieces out of the centre. Who knows? Anyway, let's think. Let's talk about other stuff. So, who knows? Yeah, the podcast, the Chess Pit. If you haven't listened to us already, then the way to go is to your podcast aggregator. And we've had 10 episodes already. We've been going since the end of January. And your podcast aggregator. I can play e4 now for sure. We've had 10 episodes already. We've been going since the end of January. Going since the end of January, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. Unfortunately, the ongoing lockdown has enforced us to move to bedrooms and libraries and other places around houses, offices. But we're still going strong now. That knight looks a bit marooned out on b6 now. Doesn't really have many squares. We're still going strong. We're doing for time. We're doing fine for time, so we can just have a little chat here. I don't know. What is the best move here? Can I pin that knight on c to get the queen out that way, and then? What is the best move here? This can't be bad, can it? Okay. Pin that knight on c to get the queen out that way, and then. Let's see how we do. This can't be bad, can it? Okay. Let's see how we do. Guess everyone's having dinner. Doesn't seem to be anyone really getting involved on the old Twitters. Guess everyone's having dinner. Doesn't seem to be anyone really. See how we do. Getting involved on the old Twitters. I can't remember the reason why I didn't play in the last one of these. I'm imagining that there was a very good reason why I did not. I can't remember the reason why I didn't play in the last one of these. I'm imagining that there was a. I guess I've got a lot more time now to do these kind of things. But I'm really not convinced by my position here. Oh, okay. Oh, that feels like a bit better now. Okay, so he's let his bishop out, but that. I'm really not convinced by. There's a lovely juicy square on d5 if I can make it work somehow. What is the best move? Okay, let's try b4. Because that knight's still pinned, so I'm now threatening b5. And then bishop b2 can follow if not. Okay, let's try b4. Because that knight's still pinned, so I'm now threatening b5. And then bishop b2 can follow if not. Yeah. This seems reasonable. Yeah. This seems reasonable. Yeah. This seems reasonable. B5 is a big threat. I don't know how he deals with it. You could play A6, but that's going to weaken the dark squares even more on the queen side.
I don't know how he deals with it. You could play A6, but that's going to weaken the dark squares even more. You could play A6, but that's going to weaken
Don't
the
know.
dark squares even more.
Short answer. I think I'm doing absolutely fine.
Don't know.
But
Short answer. Don't know. I think I'm doing absolutely fine. Short answer. I think I'm doing
okay, so he's played A6. This weakens a lot of the dark squares. I could go A4 here, or maybe he just takes it with the bishop.
So he's played A6. This weekend's
That looks quite
squares. I can
good
still
for
go A4
him.
here.
Bishop B2 does
He's
threaten
played A6. This
E5.
weekend's I can still go A4 here.
Bishop D6. Rook. Again, this just can't be a bad move. That knight is not having much fun out there, I don't think.
Not having that move. That knight is not having much fun out there, I don't think.
I'm not entirely sure what he's done wrong. What's he actually done wrong here? Not sure. But my pieces seem to be on pretty good squares now. I've got almost complete central control because his knight is pinned. He's put his other knight offside. His bishop can't do anything.
I've got almost complete central
But
control.
it needs to make a breakthrough somehow.
Put his other knight offside.
You'll see how we do. Don't know. I feel like this is going. Alright, bishop d6, so that makes sense. So
how we do? Don't know.
yeah, so he's now got two defenders. But now the knight isn't pinned either because the bishop defends the queen. So I can keep the pin on the knight by moving a rook over to c1. Unless there's something else. So that bishop is now absolutely horrible. That bishop just... It's completely isolated on one diagonal and the other diagonal isn't doing much. So I've now got some potential for bits and pieces down the f-file if I really want to, maybe. Let's just... It's the kind of position where you really need to play accurately, otherwise it can go astray very quickly. I want to play knight b3 into c5 at some point, but let's just keep this pin and keep him honest for now. I think that one of the other benefits of playing the English that I've found since moving from 1e4, okay, so he's got out the pin. One of the other benefits is that you can play a bit more quickly because the same ideas in the middle game tend to exist. Whereas, yeah, there's just, as I said, there's such a myriad responses, potential responses for black against e4. I mean, this can't be bad to just get a knight to c5, can it? And then put my rook on d1. Does that seem reasonable? Yeah, why not? Who knows? Knight a4 might be slightly awkward. That's the only outpost he's really got. I don't know. Bishop to a1. Oh yeah, okay, so that bishop's coming to c4, and knight's coming to c4. This is worth some thought. That bishop is now quite good. This is worth some thought. That bishop is now quite good. Yes, it is completely ridiculous to play knight a5, I think. Alright, let's just jam it in there. Why not? No, I don't know what to take back with. That's the next problem. I don't particularly want to isolate a pawn there. I'd rather have... But oh, I don't know. This is tough. Okay, so if I take the Take with the pawn. I don't know where the knight actually goes. Does it go to c4?
So if I take
Probably goes to c4,
take
and
with the pawn, I
then
don't know where the knight
my
actually
pawn on
goes.
c5
Does
is
it go to
actually
C4?
not looking so happy.
Probably goes to c4.
All right.
Pawn on c5 is actually not looking so happy.
Just try and keep control here as much as I can. Don't need to be
Just trying to keep control here.
blowing any pieces now. There's a groovy little exchange sacrifice, but let's see what he plays first. Blowing any pieces now. There's a groovy little exchange sacrifice, but let's see what he plays first. Don't know. Right. Okay. Now I can take on c6 and then take on e5 with the bishop.
Okay.
And then I've got
Now I can take on
I've got decent
C6
minor
and then
pieces,
take on
but he's
E5
got
with
two
bishop.
potential
and then I've got
open files. Got decent minor pieces, but he's got two
Rook
potential c2 just open files. Threatens to win a pawn. Might be the fan's favourite. Rook c2 just. My light square bishop isn't having the most fun, so I think I need to think about this. Taking on c6 might be
my
playable.
light square bishop isn't having the most fun, so I think I need to think about this.
This is a tough decision. Thing is, my pawns on the queen side are quite safe because I've got a dark square bishop and he doesn't. It's just whether I can get my knight moving quickly enough. Let's say I can. Let's just do this. Okay, he can take the bishop and then, but then I've got rook c7 and my position must be doing quite well. I must be doing quite well there. Because e5 is also hanging, e5 and b7 would be hanging.
Take the bishop and then I've got rook c7 and my position must be.
So I think he has to take the rook here. And then we can
Because e5 is also hanging, e5
have
and
some
b7
fun.
would be hanging.
Exchange down
So I think he has to take the rook here.
for some play.
Have some fun.
We like play.
Exchange down.
For some play.
We like.
Oh, we took that one. Okay, I think I'm now doing quite well. Because I think I just win a pawn. Or maybe I don't. After rook. Let's see how we do.
Oh, we took that one.
I feel like I win a pawn here.
I'm now doing quite well.
You didn't like
I think I just win
you
a
didn't
pawn.
like the look of
Maybe I
taking
don't.
that rook.
After Let's see how we
Fair
do.
enough. He's got active pieces. So even if I do win a pawn here, he's going to have a lot of activity. My king side is a bit cramped. Very safe,
Fair enough.
but it's
He's got active pieces.
my light square bishop
So
isn't
even if I do win a
the
pawn
best
here,
piece that you've
I've
ever
got a lot of
seen.
activity. My king side is
Let's be honest.
cramped. Very safe, but it's.
Wonder if he'll try and...
Light square bishop isn't.
Knight c4 here is an interesting line. Because he's then looking at my pawn on a3. The best thing to do if you're trying to defend is to try and make it so that you're only defending on one side of the board. So if the queenside pawns could disappear here, even if I win the pawn on e5, I'll have 4 versus 3 on just on the king side only, and the entire queen side will just be sort of null and void. So if he can liquidate the queen side in exchange for the pawn on e5, then he'd have very, very good drawing chances. Because he'd only be defending on one side of the board. But whether or not it's doable is the other. So I feel like his knight is going to get quite. I suppose he's got a square on b5. This is not easy. I do not know what to do. He played that. Okay. Okay. So he's playing b5 first to try and anchor. But if I play knight takes e5, then that stops him going there. Yeah.
Okay, so he's playing b5.
Okay, he can bring a bishop there anyway, but I think the only way black can do things here is to try and liquidate everything on the queen side. I'm not sure how that will help because now I get more even more space on the king side. Yeah. And my bishop is starting to. If I can get my knight out of the way, push that pawn, the bishop starts to get a bit of a free run, and also my bishop can come back to f1 if I need it to. I think if he gets rid of the other pair of rooks, I'm just winning. F1 if I need it to. I think if he gets rid of the very hard to see an idea because if I can just play something like rook c1, rook c8, rook takes, bishop f1. Very hard to see an idea because if I can just play something like rook c1, rook c8, maybe not. Bishop takes bishop f1. We're reaching an endgame very quickly here. This could be fun. Maybe not. Everyone loves endings. Here we go. I don't think I've got a choice. I suppose I could play rook c6. Everyone loves endings. Rook c5. I don't think I've got a choice. Is there any point in playing rook c5? His knight is miles away. I get a passed pawn, that might be that. There's no other moves. His knight is miles away. I get a passed pawn, that might be that. No, because if I move the rook to say a7 to attack the pawn on a6, then he goes rook c1, check bishop f1, bishop h3, and then that's. No, because if I actually doesn't because I got rook a8 check. But I can't believe I'm doing any. Well, maybe I am. Hold on. Okay. Can I win a second pawn? Can I play rook a7? But I can't believe I'm doing any. Maybe I am. Hold on. It's very possible. It's very risky because if I've missed something, then I might be in big trouble. So it's very possible. Oh yeah, because then f6 would attack my knight and give his king an escape square. So this is very risky. Oh yeah, because then so the options there for rook c6, rook c5, or rook takes rook. This is very risky. So the options there for rook c6, rook c5, or. I think the main question in these kind of positions to ask yourself is, can I possibly lose if I take the rook here? I mean, I had an ending like this the other week in the 4NCL where I was pretty sure I couldn't lose, and I did. So. Can I possibly lose if I take the rook here? Rook c6 takes, rook c5 takes. The bishop's already looking at the queen in square if I get a past c pawn, so I can play. This isn't easy. The bishop's already looking at the queen in square if I get a past c pawn, so I can play. This is not easy. This isn't easy. Hold on, if I go rook a7, rook c1, bishop f1, f6. Rook takes a6, pawn takes knight, rook takes f6. This is not simple. Haven't got an enormous amount of time. I'm getting 15 seconds per move, but this is not an easy decision. Haven't got an enormous amount of time. Let's just go through this in my head. Rook a7, rook c1 check, bishop f1. Let's just go through this in my head. Rook a7, rook c1 check, bishop f1. Rook c1 check, bishop h3. I need to f6, rook takes a6, bishop h3, rook, and then the knight still covers the escape square. I need to. Fine. Let's. Should we go for it? Bishop h3, rook, and then the knight still covers the escape square. Fine. Let's. Should we go for it? I've got king g2 if he does another move. Right, let's do it. This might be awful. I've got but see what happens. I think I've got it calculated, but
this might be awful.
it may not have been worth the risk at all. You can take that one first, but yeah, this just transposes because I've got to take the pawn now.
It may not have been worth the risk at all. You can take that one.
And the bishop. The point is the bishop can't go anywhere along that diagonal as a further intermezzo. And my knight is still covering the king escape square if he does all these checks. Bishop's only safe squares are bishop b3 and a2.
And my knight is still covering the king.
Yeah, I think I've just won a second pawn there. But that was... So bash the mic. That was not so easy. Alright, so let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so that makes... have I completely... No, because I've got this move, yeah. This is what we looked at.
Okay, so that makes...
And then, yeah.
It's
a nice little... A little fork to force something off now. Now I'm 2 pawns up. A little fork to force something off now. And the b5 pawn is being looked at as well. I might be 3 pawns up fairly soon. So I'm not sure what he can... I think he has to take the rook, and then I take back and I'm threatening a fork. Try saying that 10 times quickly. On e7, so you'd have to deal with that, and then I think I can just... do it.
On e7, so you'd have to deal with that, and then I think I can just... do it.
Yeah, this doesn't look like much fun for him. Okay, so he's gone down the line where he's going to get 2 minor pieces for the rook, but I will be stunned if this is any good, because I'm just going to keep getting millions of pawns here. Yeah. 2 minor pieces against a rook is normally quite good, but I'd be amazed if he's going to get enough play, because I'm just going to get so many pawns. What do we want to do? Do we want to play a4? A4 looks quite good. What do we want to do? Do we want to play a4? Bishop and then king e1 should be just about right. Yeah. I think the end is nigh, unfortunately. Pawn can't take the pawn because rook takes knight. This is close to over. If he had 2 bishops, he might have a shot of stopping the passed pawns, because he'd control all the colours. See, the knight can control both colours, but
he had 2 bishops.
I think this is we're close to done here. And it's
control all the colours. See, the knight can control both colours, but he had 2 bishops.
I think this is we're close to done here. And it's yeah. I don't know. Do we just start grabbing these pawns, or shall I play? I mean, this pawn on a4 could just run very, very fast through to a8. Or does it want to be on b8? Because the bishop wouldn't be able to cover it. I think probably this gives me more time. Does it? Where do I want to put that pawn? Has the bishop got enough time to come back and round it up? Where do I want to put that pawn? Yes, it probably has, so let's just take that. Yes, it probably has, so let's just take that. Must remember to keep my rook on dark squares, so there's no nasty forks with either piece here. Otherwise that would be somewhat embarrassing.
Must remember to keep my rook on dark squares, so there's no nasty forks with either piece.
Start gobbling the rest of these. Otherwise that would be... and get my king involved. Now I've got my rook on the e file, he can't really bring his king in. If I just put my king on the keep my king on the opposite colour, I could even
Get my king involved.
try putting my king on dark squares so it avoids the bishop, and then just plonk my rook on
If I just put my king
on light squares.
on the opposite colour, I could even try putting my
He hasn't
king
got
on
many
dark
moves
squares
here.
so it avoids the bishop, and then just plonk my rook on light squares.
Well, he's got a nice little trick actually with knight c3 check, because I can't go king d3 because of, yeah, there we go. Can't go king d3 because of knight takes pawn, and then I can't take it back because there's a skewer on f1. So that's a nice little trick, but I can get my king well away, and also that stops the bishop cutting the pawn off from g2. So here my rook and the king are in almost the perfect place to stop these. I could have put my king on e1, I suppose, but then it might have run into some forks, and also, yeah, as I said, I want to keep that bishop honest by controlling some more light squares. My rook's on the perfect spot against the knight because it would take the knight 3 moves to attack it again.
My rook's on the perfect spot against the knight because it would take the knight 3 moves.
What do I want to do?
Attack it again.
I could play g4 and make him come around that way.
What do I want to do?
Do I want to just
Play g4 and make him come around that way?
start throwing these pawns up the board? Yeah, okay. Let's try and get these pawns going. Yeah, okay. I've just had a notification that my computer's going to restart in 10 minutes, which is lovely. Maybe no, 15. I think we should be fine. I can just move to my iPad for the game if I need to. Obviously the stream would end, but let's try and mop up before then.
I can just move to my iPad for the game if I need to. Obviously the stream would end, but let's try and mop up before then.
Yeah, this knight is just... When you've got double pawns, knights actually are not a great piece because they're obviously having to flip between both colours. I mean, if you've got double pawns like this, then both colours are controlled by the little pawn dart you've got.
Both colours.
I actually lost a game against an international master in the 4NCL like that, where the my knight just got stuck in the middle of the board on, I think it was on e4, and he had pawns on d4 and d5, double pawns. So my knight couldn't retreat to c3, and everywhere else was occupied. It was a very strange way to lose a game, but a learning point. And I guess that's why we're here.
Very strange way to lose a game.
But he's starting to get quite low on time now.
I guess that's why we're here.
That knight does not have many moves. If he goes to b6, then... If he goes to b2 or c3, it's just miles away from anything. My rook is now covering the queening square, which is on a dark square, which is very handy for getting pawns to the end.
My rook is now covering the queening square, which is on a dark square.
If he goes to b6, I guess I can just play rook a6. Start bunging the pawn up that way.
He goes to b6.
And I've always got to check on a7 if I get hit by the bishop.
Play rook a6.
Yeah, this is
Bunging the pawn up that way. I've always got to check on a7 if I get hit by the bishop. Yeah, this is...
he didn't do a whole lot wrong. Really didn't do much wrong. Yes, I think we can
do a whole lot wrong.
just happily play rook a6 and then b6. Whatever he does here. My rook and king are too far apart to be forks, so there's nothing to worry about there.
Rook a6 and then b6. Whatever he does here. My rook and king are too far apart to be forks, so there's nothing to worry about.
I think I can just incrementally shove these pawns up the board. There's no checks. Bishop c8 rook. Yeah, can I just play? Oh, hang on, I've got to be careful here. Rook takes pawn. b7. Knight ace. Hang on, I've got to be careful. This should be enough, right? b7. And then, so I just give a check. Should be enough, right? And then, so I just give a check. I might end up with rook and rook and 3 against bishop and 2 here. That would be pretty easy. Rook and 3 against bishop and 2 here. That would be pretty easy. This doesn't look like much fun for Mr. Cup of Theorem, which is, I quite like the username. Oh, if king goes this way, then I think this is all over because I just play b7. I quite like the knight comes to c6. I play rook a6, which pins it, and then I will queen, and that should be that. The king had to go. Even if the king went backwards, I guess I'd have more checks. a6, which pins it, and then I will queen, and that should be that. King had to go. Even if the king went backwards, I guess I'd have more checks. Yeah. That's a fun game. Lots of little interesting tactics down the c file. And then that's a fun game. This may not have been the best way to proceed. But yeah, this is that will do. Gonna queen. This may not have been the best way. Either queen next move or take the bishop. Take the knight even. That will do. Gonna queen. 2 minor pieces against the rook is normally quite good, but I just had too many pawns and his knight was not a very good piece. Normally you really want a rook to support them. Had some games where rook against 2 bishops, or 2 bishops, 2 knights even against a rook has been very good because they could just mop up all the pawns. But had some games where rook against 2 strange position, strange game. Just didn't ever quite happen for him. But yeah, strange position, strange game. Didn't ever quite happen for him. Thank you to, and there we go. Thank you to Mr. Cup of Theorem in Kenya, and I'll be back. I think a couple of weeks with round 3. Thank you to Mr. Cup of Theorem in Kenya, and